start of the video.
That was loud.
What up, YouTube world? It's your boys, Roasted. The channel. And he's drinking a Dr. Pepper on a video.
That was delicious.
It was delicious. Dr. Pepper should sponsor us for that. We're going to bring back the top 5. That's 10. 5. We're going to bring it back, and we're going to bring it back harder, and it's going to hit you in the face, and it's going to come back with a knife-edge chop, and then it's going to hit you in the throat, and then you're going to die.
What?
Yeah, maybe the people shouldn't die. But top 5 is back. And today is going to be a tough top 5 because we're going to try to look at the top 5 wrestlers of the past, ones that are retired or that are no longer with us, that could hang with the super crazy athletic stuntmen wrestlers of today.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I have 5, but it's going to be tough to like... Well, I mean, I already know who number 1 is.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we all know who number 1 is. They have to intertwine somehow with somebody also, so...
Okay.
Let's also... No, we can wait that. We do have different videos. I say let's also put them in a dream match, but maybe we'll do that in a different video. All right, let's get this going with number 5.
Okay, so criteria for me. You said top 5 guys that can hang with it. So
hey, they don't have to be the guys who do all the flippy doodahs and all the crazy stuff.
You gotta be able to perform.
Yes,
no Hogan,
no
Ultimate Warrior, none of those guys.
Yeah, no Andre the Giant, nothing like that.
No. Okay, so my number 5 for me, I'm gonna go with the British Bulldog.
The British Bulldog.
He was so good.
He was definitely before his time.
Like, maybe we should do a list later, like, of top guys that, like, never won the title, that probably could have had the title.
Yeah, like
to me, he was fast, athletic, super strong, he had a great look. Like, he would be, he wasn't really good on the mic, but just his in-ring performances.
Yeah, they were good.
Like, he could definitely hang with.
They were good.
I was always a huge British Bulldog. I just liked the way he wrestled in the ring. He was just so fun.
No, he was really good. He was super athletic. He was, like you said, he had power.
Yeah, he was just like the complete package in the ring.
He might have been a Brock Lesnar before Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he just wasn't as big, but yeah, he could do it all.
Yeah,
like,
he could. He was very athletic.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good way to start it. My number 5 is going to be another big man, and it's just a guy who was doing flips and all kinds of stuff for being over 300 pounds, and that's going to be Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh, man, I liked Bam Bam.
Bam Bam Bigelow was a very large man, but he could get off his feet. He could go. For being an overweight guy, I guess you would say, for the 300-plus pounder,
man.
he had stamina. His matches weren't always short. He had really good matches. He was doing flips off the top ropes. He was doing headbutts. Like, he could go. I think he could be one of those characters that you could bring in like a Wardlow, a bodyguard or something, but he could be one of those guys who could hold a great match with some of these younger kids.
Yeah, I like Bam Bam. That's true. He was good.
Yeah, he was really good.
He could do a backflip off the top.
He's doing backflips off the top rope at that size.
He's huge.
Yeah, I think he might have been one of the first huge guys like that to do a backflip.
I know. I'm trying to think of someone else that could, and I can't think of one back in the day.
Those are some good number 5s. It's getting good so far. Number 4.
So number 4. This is like every time I think whether it's underrated or something that like I wish I would be able to see him wrestle against the guys today is Owen Hart. Like, but he could talk.
Yeah.
So he could promo for promo. He can hang with the guys today, obviously.
Yeah.
And then of course in ring. I mean, dude, he could do it all too.
He could.
Like he could do. He was good at everything. He was good at everything.
Yeah, there really wasn't anything he couldn't do, man.
No,
he was really good.
He was so good. Like. And I'm just going off of just like entertainment also. Like, I'll do honorable mentions later, but these are the guy that like I know if I put him in the ring with someone really good right now, there's not going to be no drop off.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like, oh well, things were different back in the day. He could like keep up with what is going on today.
Yeah, Owen Hart was great. I love Owen Hart. Yeah. My number 4 is going to be probably the most blandest guy in the world because we're not talking about mic skills or anything like that. We're talking about in-ring performances. He was probably one of the best in-ring performers ever, but never, ever once gets any kind of shine. Lance Storm.
Oh man, yeah.
Lance Storm could go for days. He was he was such a good wrestler, such a good in-ring performer. His facial expressions, selling, no matter what he did, he was really good at. I mean, he had no no personality. I mean,
Yeah.
he had the personality of a damn piece of bread.
That might have been the only thing that ever held him
I
back.
think that's what held him back the most. Is he couldn't cut a promo. He had no personality. There was no gimmick for him. There was nothing you could give him. Like Cody Rhodes, you can give Cody anything, he ran with it.
Yeah.
You could have gave Lance Storm the Stardust that, it would flop and die right there.
I've seen so many videos of wrestlers talk about like who never won the title that should have, and everyone says Lance Storm. Everyone said, if wrestling was about giving the best wrestler the title, Lance Storm should have been champion 100 times.
Right. Lance Storm was definitely, like I said, he could definitely hang with the guys.
That's a good
now.
one.
Yeah, that's a really good one because Lance Storm's that boy can go, and his wrestling school is closing this year, so he's also a trainer and all that stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, but Lance Storm number 4. 3.
Number 3. So this is kind of I think that this guy might be a top 5. He might even be top 3. Man, it's so hard. But Bret Hart. That's
wow.
Matter of fact, now that I think about my list, the bottom 3 guys are from the Hart Foundation. That's hilarious. The Hart Foundation's amazing. All those guys were good. Maybe not Anvil Neidhart. He
wasn't bad.
He was a good
He's a big guy.
But Bret Hart can wrestle any style. He just like his brother and his brother-in-law, and Bret Hart made you look like $1 million.
No.
He wasn't afraid to let you get your stuff off. He didn't have no ego in the ring. He was all about, okay, and this spot here, this spot here, this is what we're gonna do. It's gonna make me look good. It's gonna make you look good. Dude, you can probably take Bret Hart, put him in a match with some random guy right now who's not even that good in the year 2020, and Bret Hart's gonna make that match amazing.
Yeah, like Bret Hart would be one of those guys, man. He was the excellent execution. That was not just a nickname. Dude, he was amazing.
Bret Hart carried the British Bulldog to the British Bulldog's greatest match of all times.
Yep.
And British Bulldog came to the show. He was drunk, super hungover, didn't remember what they were going to do. And Bret Hart literally called it in the middle of the match. It was like a 5-star match.
Yeah.
Bro,
that's a good one.
There's only a handful of guys that could even come close to doing something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane.
But that's a good one. That's a good one. Bret Hart is a good one. My number 3 is going to be somebody who, if he did not pass, probably would still be wrestling. Definitely be back and forth as a legend, but that's going to be Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, man.
Eddie Guerrero probably could definitely hang with anybody right now because, I mean, everything he was doing, even on the mic, I mean, his promos were great. His in-ring performance was great. His matches were great. Even his really bad matches, he always somehow found a way to make them good. Yeah. There's always something about that match. You're like, that match was boring, but Eddie Guerrero did this, this, and this. And I mean, and he was doing the frog splash, and when he started doing the 3 amigos, the 3 suplexes in a row, I mean, such huge pops for him, man. I mean, Eddie Guerrero is probably another one that doesn't always get the love and shine that he deserves as in-ring performance.
As a top wrestler, yeah.
Good Lord, man. He's probably one of the best.
I know, he doesn't get the shine that he should get. Because he might be top. See, again, there's always so many people you can put in the top 5.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, he probably would still be wrestling.
He probably, exactly. He loved wrestling so much, and he was that good that he'd probably still be wrestling. And before he passed, he was in some of the best shape of his whole life before he passed. And he was putting on great matches, man. He won the title. I mean, it wasn't even 2 years before he was removed from the title win. And he was still having great matches.
Yeah, he was amazing. Yeah, he'd probably still be wrestling. That's the crazy to even think about. After all these years now, he'd probably still be wrestling. Because if Rey Mysterio can do it.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio and Edge are still going. I'm pretty sure he definitely could do it.
Yeah, he could definitely do it.
Number 2?
Number 2. So this one I think. So, man, it's hard to do top 5. But Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Ooh, wow.
Bro, he was I feel like maybe not his character obviously would fit in today, but just his in-ring performance. I mean, he's one of the best. I feel like I would love to see him like against Kenny Omega. I would love to see him against like even someone like Edge now, or even like Orton or something. But gosh, dude, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was good at everything.
Yeah, that was somebody who definitely was before his time.
Oh, he was definitely before his time. Remember when he did that? I mean, it was still a long time, but when he came back.
Yeah.
And
went bananas.
Yeah, because he was so good.
Yeah. He was still putting on good matches.
Like, it was crazy. And they even had the little row where he wrestled, because he was like, okay, well, now you have to wrestle because Like, you can still keep up with everybody else.
Yeah, and he was at that time, he was like 60.
Yeah, he was
still
old. So.
And that's a guy who never looks like he ages a day.
Yeah, he still looks
looks the damn same, man.
Yeah, what's it called? He definitely, like, it's almost like muscle memory for him.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, oh, my body can't take it. It's just like, because he's so smooth.
Yeah.
And everything he does just, like, comes so easy for him. Like, you wouldn't have to worry about him getting hurt. Really, like, I don't know, he was just so good.
Yeah, that's a really good
I liked Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but he reminded me of, like, Bruce Lee. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he always had that.
Yeah, so like that's why I was a fan before. But like when you get older and you watch, especially the match he had against Macho Man, which a lot of people think one of the greatest matches of all time. Is that WrestleMania? I think it was WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's right.
For the IC title.
Yeah, for the IC.
I mean,
that match was a good match. It was a good match.
Crazy.
And Macho Man was not. I mean, Macho Man was good, but he wasn't. I don't think he's one of the best in ring performers.
Macho Man?
I mean, he's good, but
gosh, I think he's amazing. He would have been. He's an honorable mention.
That's honorable
mention.
Yeah. My number 2 is going to be another wrestler who was super bland. I keep going through it, but I think I'm going to put some of these guys at honorable mentions. But my number 2, I think, is going to be the man of 1,000 holds.
Dang, he was
Dean Malenko. I think I'm going to put Dean Malenko in number 2.
He was so bland.
This is another guy who was bland, super bland, but everything he did in the ring was perfection. Everything he did was perfect. Every match that he brought to you, his selling, is how he put you in the holds, how he got you to that point, just the storytelling. I mean, a lot of that, and his matches were never like super crazy, all jumping off, but they kept you into the matches because he tell such a great story in the ring. He's almost like Zack. He's a better version of Zack Sabre Jr. The 1,000 holds. And blah, blah, blah. But the way he got you into those, which is, I think, and right now it's, I don't mind I love the crazy athleticism. I love the flips, but it's getting to a point right now where we get so many dives out of the ring.
It's a lot.
That it's getting stale now, and that's why when they like, oh, Shayna Baszler does nothing but holds, and I like it is because it's back to what we used to watch. It's back to that wrestling was a slam and a hold, a slam and a hold. And no, it's not the most exciting, but it brings you into that story and it tells the story. And that's what Dean Malenko was so perfect at doing, was bringing you into the match, telling the story, and then win or lose, you're like, damn, that was a really good match. It wasn't the most, oh God, he did 1,200 tope suicides out of the ring.
Tope suicides.
But damn, it was such a great match because he told such a good story.
I mean, he was just so good in the ring.
He was very good in the ring.
But he just was so bland.
Yeah, another one that was just paper thin bland, bro.
Like, he had like no expressions or nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, his matches, but the thing I liked about him, he wasn't doing flippy doodads, but when he wrestled against guys that did flippy doodads, like his matches against Rey Mysterio, like he did so many crazy. He did like an off the top rope backbreaker. Yeah, so Rey Mysterio like threw him up and he went down and caught him with the knee. Like
he did nutty moves to people he know he could do these moves.
Yeah. And you would trust him to do it because he was so good.
He was so good. I don't think. I mean, maybe we can go back and look at it. I don't think he ever hurt anybody, and he did some crazy shit, man.
Yeah, and again, crazy stuff that didn't have to do with backflipping off the top rope.
Yeah, exactly. The stuff that would build that story into there, and then you'd be like, "Oh, that was such a good match." Yeah. And you're number 1.
You know.
Oh, I wonder. Let's guess.
No!
Oh, I do know. It's Earthquake.
No, it's Dork the Clown.
Dork the Clown.
No, it's Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
I mean, if you could just pick one person from back in the day and just be like, don't change nothing about him at all.
Yeah.
Okay, right? You don't have to say, oh, he was bland, or what. You could just take exactly who he was when he was in his prime and put him in today's WWE, and he would fit perfectly in. And not only that, but he's going to main event all the time. When you come up with crazy matches, whether it's the Elimination Chamber or anything like that, you can put him in those matches. I mean, he's already done them. But, I mean...
Yeah, there's nothing you can...
There's nothing that he couldn't do.
Yeah. And he could
wrestle.
He was very athletic, and he wasn't doing crazy flips and crazy stuff like that. But he's another one that just told such amazing stories with how he wrestled. It was just such great stories. And, usually he was the smaller guy in a lot of the matches, because back when he wrestled, it was the bigger guy. But the story he told with that and how he sold, too, it really brought you into it. And just the matches and how he executed and hit everything so damn perfectly. When he hit that super kick, I mean, it looked like he was trying to kick someone's head off.
Man, bro, the older he got, it was like the better he was
Yeah,
getting.
he was getting better. Yeah,
Like it was just like you were already the best. Like you were already the best.
like his match with Ric Flair and Undertaker.
Yeah, and then
man,
you
Triple
like
H just...
you leave for how long? So you had your back, then you come back and you're still the best. Like you're still putting on the best matches.
still the best.
Like everyone who wrestled Shawn, especially at WrestleMania, which is hard to do, more than likely that was their best match. It was because they wrestled Shawn.
Yeah.
Like look at Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho has had millions of amazing matches.
Okay, still.
But when people say, well, what's Chris Jericho's greatest match? I bet you 75%, 80% of the people are going to like, the match against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people's matches against Shawn Michaels were
Their
the
best matches.
Yeah, they were their best matches. So Shawn Michaels brought the best out of you because he was doing so damn much.
Yeah, he was just like that's exactly right. He brought the best out of you, and he was going to make you. Even that's the only thing about Shawn that you would probably try not to do is his like backstage attitude.
Oh yeah, his backstage attitude.
Still, he would still sell for you.
And the younger, it's harder to say the younger Shawn now. I get your, I get the point, but the younger Shawn didn't want to put anybody over.
But he would.
So
He
right
didn't
now,
want to,
would
but
he put anybody over? Would be the problem. It was like,
Right.
would he put Adam Cole over? Would he put Kenny Omega over? Would he put these people over? That'd be the issue.
See,
how many times would he be able to put
And
somebody over?
that's the one. What Vince did say, like when you watched the movie he had.
Yeah.
He said, "Look, he didn't want to do it, but if I said, Shawn, this is what you're doing, he'd get mad, but he would do it."
Yeah.
So it's just like I said, it's just you're gonna struggle with him a little bit backstage, but eventually, you know, he'll do.
You might even have a Hulk Hogan match with him.
Hey man, I mean, he didn't
That match was
undersell.
great. That match was so. I love that match, man.
That match might have been complete
That's one of
crap.
my favorite Shawn Michaels matches.
Bro, that's
just so
Hulk
funny.
Hogan's favorite, the best match he's ever
Yes,
had.
definitely is. Now my number one, it wasn't Shawn Michaels, and everybody's been asking me like, oh, these number ones, it's not always Triple H. Triple H is still wrestling.
Yeah.
He might be super part time, but he's still WrestleManias. He's still doing like. I don't want to put Triple H number one because he's still going.
They're talking about him, like they're still trying to figure out who he's gonna wrestle at WrestleMania. And I didn't even know that he was in a story.
He's not, but they're going to build him come damn a month before. They're going to give him something.
Probably.
It's going to be good, but so I'm not going to put Triple H as number one. And then my number one was Owen Hart, but he took him, so I'm going to go ahead and change it to a guy who, again, some off, out of the ring issues. But a guy who just performed his ass off, and there was a reason why he was perfect. Mr. Perfect would
I really
probably
thought that was going to be
be
your number one.
my number one. There's no way you can't say Mr. Perfect could not hang with these kids nowadays.
no,
Everything he did in ring performance, the perfect plex, everything, his promos, anything he did was it was immaculate. He's another one that when he would get in the ring, he would tell a good story. He would sell, really good. He never was that top guy for whatever reason.
Hogan.
Yeah, mostly Hogan.
He was
But
supposed to win
then
that Royal Rumble.
Then the problem with the Brock Lesnar on the airplane and stuff like where he got fired.
Yeah, that was weird.
The drugs and the alcohol, whatever you have for Mr. Perfect. But when he wrestled and he put on a show, holy crap, it was a show.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect was amazing, bro. Dude, I think he's got the greatest vignette of all time.
Oh, yeah,
He was
of course.
like hitting the baseball, throwing the football,
Yeah.
catching it, and what was it, the shooting the basketball,
Yeah,
right?
he just does the basket.
Yeah,
Looks behind
like
him.
everything he was doing, dude. That's like the great. Like every time I see vignettes, I always think about his.
Mr. Perfect.
Because like it was like the best. And then look, when you the one thing about Mr. Perfect that you can never take away is that when you're given the gimmick, Mr. Perfect, and they give you the vignette like that, bro, you gotta deliver.
You do, and he did.
And he did. Like you can't.
It was dare I say, perfect.
Yeah, you can't, bro. That's tough. That's a tough gimmick to be given.
And then
you're really not
his size, he had a good size too. He was strong.
big,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean he was strong. He was athletic. He was jumping almost out the ring. Like he could do it all. He's another one. If he was given the time, if he would have lived or didn't have the out of the ring issues, man, they would have put the title on him eventually. I mean, they didn't have a choice.
Oh yeah.
They didn't have a choice. I mean, he's probably one of the best Intercontinental champions ever.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy that he never. Well, I mean, it's not crazy when you hear about the stories. But,
Yeah, I mean, it's
but yeah,
mostly Hogan's
it's
fault.
crazy to think he didn't. Like he's one of the wrestlers you think, like you're having a conversation, like, oh yeah, remember when he had the title, and it's like, Wait, no, he didn't have the
Never
title.
had
They
the
were like, what? No,
title.
he had to have. No, he didn't. He didn't have it.
Never had it.
But you would think that he did.
Him and Hacksaw Jim Duggan's
Hacks.
another one.
So he never won a title.
Chris Jericho, he was on Chris Jericho's podcast, and he was about to be skyrocketed to the moon.
He won the first ever Royal Rumble.
And what happened was he got busted. He got pulled over. He had some weed on him. They took him to jail. Iron Sheik had some cocaine on him.
Oh, that's
And
hilarious.
Vince McMahon was like, "You're done." Vince
That's
McMahon
why?
right there. Yeah, Vince McMahon cut it, and he completely trashed everything Hacksaw had. And he was probably one of the most over wrestlers you would ever see, man. When he came out with that, still now, apparently he's still wrestling now. Still one of the most over wrestlers you ever see, and never once won a single title. He didn't win a tag team, intercontinental, European, hardcore.
He never
nothing.
won a title his whole career. That is insane. Not
He
even
wrestled late 2000s too. When he came back in the 2000s, he's calling
yeah, that's right. That's crazy.
But anyway, we're off track. Let's do 2 honorable mentions. Do them real quick. Who you got? If you got to.
Oh, man. So this is just, dude, I still like Ric Flair comes to mind. I even think like his gimmick, like if he just kept his gimmick, it would still translate to today.
Yeah.
But Macho Man.
Man.
I just think he
You
was
got Macho
so good in the ring, and I can sometimes like when I watch Jake the Snake is another one that like even just his gimmick is like weird,
Oh, I can
creepy
see-
gimmick.
I can see
I
Jake
think
the
he'd
Snake.
be okay, but like yeah, Macho Man, bro, he was just so good.
He was, man.
He was just so good.
Yeah, I like Macho Man. It was
Young Macho before he went to WCW.
Yeah. Give me WCW one. That one doesn't count
Yeah.
for anything.
Yeah.
My biggest one would probably be somebody who unfortunately doesn't get brought up anymore because of what happened, the tragedy that happened, but Chris Benoit. I mean, I know everybody hates bringing up Chris Benoit, but he was so great when
He was really
wrestling.
good in the ring.
He was so good. And the aggression he had and the anger that it always seems like he brought with him and just looking like he wanted to run through you and actually murder you.
That was
That's how he wrestled, that's how it looked.
Right.
The pun was not intended. But I mean, that's just how it was. He was so aggressive, and his headbutt looked like when he did the headbutt, it looked like he was trying to drive his head through your body. Like every time, it looked like it hurt him more than it hurt the damn person. But that's and the crippler crossman. I mean, he just pulled back on it. Like Daniel Bryan does his version now, but there's no version like Chris Benoit's.
Nah,
There ain't no way, man. Him and then probably somebody another guy that was really athletic for his size, Yokozuna.
okay.
Yokozuna would be an interesting one right now too. I don't know if he could. He got winded quite a bit.
Yeah, I was about to say, that fool could not wrestle very long.
But when he did wrestle, it was good. His moves were good. He was fast. He was doing he was really athletic for being that big.
You know who's one that I think like this guy legit never gets talked about like ever, but he was really good in the ring is Mark
Mara?
Is it Mark Mara?
Mark Mara.
Yep.
Fabulous Mark Mara.
Yeah, he was a high flyer,
Yeah.
like way back in the day.
Yeah, that's when Sable outshined him, and his
Yeah, but before he became the weird boxer thing, well, which I guess he used to be a boxer, that's why.
Yeah.
But before that, well, I think it was when it was in WCW first.
Yeah.
He was really, really
was
good.
good.
He
was
could
good.
probably wrestle right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's so many. I mean, Test probably could right now. I mean, there's so many. Test was good. Man.
Test would probably still be wrestling.
Yeah, Test probably would still be wrestling because he'd only be 40 something. Maybe
Yeah,
pushing
he'd probably
50.
still
He'd be about the same age as Edge. Yeah, he'd probably still be wrestling.
What about Sting?
No. Sting couldn't wrestle when he could wrestle.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
I hate Sting.
So Lex Luger. Dude, I saw.
Are you just throwing names?
Yeah, I know, no, guys. Dude, I saw some video like, oh, well, I know a lot of people didn't think Lex Luger could wrestle, but when you watch his real old stuff in NWA where he had the television title, he was really good. I tried to watch a match.
It's horrible.
And I was like, bro, how? He's never really been good.
No,
He's never really been good. I don't know. That's just, no. But I mean, that's back in the day. That's how wrestling was. But
Man. D'Lo Brown might be one.
Yeah, D'Lo Brown was good.
D'Lo Brown was really good. And he's another one that never got that push.
No, he never did.
Never got that.
Well, that's
push.
what happens when The Rock is in your stable. Everyone looks like crap.
Oh, D'Lo Brown. He paralyzed a guy. Man, we're getting dark in this video. Let's wrap this.
The puker?
Draws.
He's gonna puke.
Poor Draws. I mean, there's so many that could definitely fit. This is a good top 5. I think we actually had a pretty good list. Like always, if you want to, drop a comment and tell us who you think had the better list. We already know I won hands down because you put Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels in every one of your lists.
Because it's the truth.
Every one of your lists. We could do top 5 female wrestlers, and somehow Shawn Michaels would work number 1 in.
Would be number 1.
Somehow he'd work his way into number 1. I don't get it. We do top 5 worst wrestlers. Somehow Shawn Michaels work into the 1. It makes no sense. Worst
wrestlers.
Would Doink the Clown be your number 1? Or Lex Luger, would he be your number 1?
I hate Lex Luger.
And of course, if you like this video, give us that beautiful thumbs up. Always share and subscribe. Follow us on all social media accounts. Roasted9809 for Facebook and Instagram. The Game 9809. 9809. I didn't think I'd have this down by now.
Nice.
For Twitter. And yeah, we're doing good stuff now. We're doing a lot of videos and got the green screen going. And
Real quick, if we did do a top 5 women's wrestler, you know who would be a number 1? Becky Lynch.
Oh, another one. There
she is.
That could be a okay.
Hopefully it's Becky Lynch right now, not some.
It's gonna be
Yokozuna.
It's gonna be Rikishi's butt.
Oh no.
That Rikishi's butt could have been in this top 5.
Horrible.
So, thank you guys. Peace, love, and go hug a tree. And subscribe to Roasted the channel, you ugly monster, you. Subscribe!